Okay, so we're on page 56 and we're working on the circled questions 2 through 12. Just remember you can review this video as many times as you like on the YouTube page. Question number 2, it's an inscribed angle. It's 100 and, excuse me, this arc here is 172 degrees. Angle 1 is an inscribed angle. I know that it's inscribed because its vertex is on the circumference, and I know that the relationship is that an inscribed angle is always half of the arc that it intercepts or that it creates. So 172 divided by 2 is 86 degrees. Question number 3. My inscribed angle now is facing the other way. They tell me this angle here is 128. I can actually find this arc here by subtracting 128 from 360. So if I do 360 minus 128, that gives me 232 degrees. So I know that this arc is 232. Its inscribed angle is going to be half, which is 116. Question number 4, they tell me that this arc is 170, this arc is 134. They want this angle here. In order to do that, I need to know what this little yellow arc is here between the two angle lines. So in order to do that, I need to know how much this is. Well, I know that a circle has 360. So if I add 170 plus 134, it's going to give me 304. So I've used up 304 minus 360 means 56, which means that this arc here is going to be 56 degrees. Well, now that I know that this is 56 degrees, all I have to do is just subtract these two arcs and divide by 2. So when I subtract them, I get 78. I divide by 2, I get 39. So this angle here is 39 degrees. Question number 5. Again, I have two arcs here. This is 131. This is 33. They want to know the measure of this angle here. So when the angle is inside the circle, I know that I add and divide by 2. So when I add them, I get 164. Divided by 2 gives me 82 degrees. So angle 1 is 82 degrees. Question number 6. It's a little tricky because they want angle 1 here. They don't want the vertical angles here. They want angle 1. Well, in order to find this angle, I need to know what this angle is here first. Well, I have my two arcs, 115 and 97. I add them. Since the angle's inside, I add them and divide by 2. That gives me 212. Divided by 2 is 106. So this angle here and this angle here are 106. But they don't want that angle. They want the one adjacent to it. I know that these are a linear pair. So if I take 180 minus 106, it's going to give me the angle here, which is 74 degrees. Question number 7. Again, they gave me this arc outside the two the two lines. They gave me this arc here. They want me to find this angle. But in order to find this angle, I need to know how big this arc is here. Well, I know that a circle has 360. So if I add these two together and subtract it from 360, well, let me see here. 134 plus 12 is 146 degrees. So I've used up 146 minus 360 gives me 214. So I know that this arc here is 214 degrees. Well, then I subtract these two, I divide by 2, and I know then that this angle here is 40 degrees. Question number 8, similar type of question. I know this arc here is 92. This is 43. I subtract them, divide by 2, and I get 24.5. Question number 9. Again, similar type of question. I basically have my arc here 138, 66, and I just want to emphasize, I notice that the arcs are between the two lines that make up the angle, right? Arcs are between the two lines. The arcs are between the two lines. All of the arcs here, between the two lines. This blue arc and this yellow arc are between them. Those are my ones of interest, right? Just wanted to point that out. So I subtract these, divide by 2, and I get 24.5. Question number 9, same thing again. My two arcs, I subtract them, divide by 2, I get 36 because the angle is outside the circle. Question number 10, it's same type of question. Again, here are my two arcs of interest. Now, they give me the angle on the outside. They wanted me to find the arc. Well, how do I find the angle on the outside? Well, remember, you subtract these two angles and you divide by 2. So that's what I did here. I set it up. I subtracted two arcs, divided by 2, and it gives me the angle on the outside. So basically, by writing it down on paper, you're setting up an algebraic equation. Then if you remember, the first thing you want to do in this situation is you want to get rid of the denominator when you cross multiply. So 2 times 38 is 76. And now what I have is a single step or a multi-step algebraic equation where I subtract 180 from both sides, the negative 1x comes down. That gives me negative 104, divide both sides by negative 1, and x is equal to 104. So this arc here is 104 degrees. And if you wanted to check your answer, well, then all you would have to do would be subtract these two and then divide by 2, and you would notice that you would get 38 degrees. Question number 10 is the exact same kind of question, except that they give me the angle on the inside. Well, how did I get that angle? Well, I know that if I take these two arcs and I add them and divide by 2, I should get this angle here. And that's what I did. I added them. 105 plus x divided by 2 should give me the angle. All I'm doing is writing it on paper. And once I do that, I know that I should get rid of the denominator. So 2 times 115 is 230. And here I have, again, a simple algebraic equation. All I do is subtract 105 from both sides. The x comes down, and x is equal to 125 degrees. Can I check my work? Sure. All I got to do is add 105 and 125, divide by 2, and I get 115 degrees. All I'm doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm just writing down what I'm doing. I know that I should add these two. It's 105 plus x divided by 2 should give me this angle here. Question number 12, pretty simple, straightforward. Again, this is an inscribed angle. They told me it's 96. So I know the arc is going to be twice as big. 96 times 2 is 192. I know that a circle has 360, so if I subtract 192 from 360, I know then that this arc here is 168 degrees. Let's move on to page 57. On page 57, I have the same scenario again. I have an inscribed angle. They told me that this part of the arc is 234. So then I know that a circle has 360, so 234 minus 360 is 126. So then I know that this arc here is 126 degrees. So this inscribed angle is half of that, which is 63. Question number 2. I have an arc here, which is 194. I have this arc here, which is 102. They want this angle here. I know that if I add them and divide by 2, I'll get it, which is 148. Number 3. Again, I have my two arcs. 104 and 38, I subtract, divide by 2, and this angle here is 33 degrees. Question number 5. Again, they tell me that this arc here is 241, this arc here is 73. Notice that these are the two arcs between the two lines, so I need to know how big this is here. How do I find that? Well, I add these two together and subtract it from 360. So 241 plus 73 is 314. I've used up 314 degrees out of the circle, so minus 360, it's going to give me 46. So I know that this little arc right here is 46 degrees. Now I can find the angle. 73 minus 46 divided by 2 is 13.5, and there's the angle there. Number 6, well, they tell me that this inscribed angle here is 66 degrees. Since this is an inscribed angle, I know that this arc here is going to be twice as big, which is 132 degrees. Once I know that this is 132 degrees, then I know I can find out the rest of this arc here because a circle has 360. So if I do 360 minus 132, I get 228. That's how I got the 228 out here. They gave me this so I know this automatically, and once they give me this, then I can find the rest of it. And now I have my two arcs to subtract. 228 minus 132 divided by 2 gives me 48 degrees. Question number 8. Again, they're giving me an arc and they're giving me an angle and they're asking me to find one of the arcs. Well, how did I get this angle to begin with? Well, I subtracted these two and divided by 2 and it gave me this. Well, I'm setting it up here. I'm subtracting the two arcs, dividing by 2, and it's equal to the angle on the outside. From there, I'm sure we know that we get rid of the denominator by multiplying, so this becomes 44. So 125 minus x is 144. Subtract 125 from both sides. A negative 1x comes down. is equal to negative 81. We divide both sides by negative 1, and x is equal to 81. And if you want to check your answer, all you got to do is 125 minus 81, divide by 2, you should get 22. Question number 9. Again, this is a little tricky now because now they gave me one arc, they didn't give me the other arc, and they didn't give me the angle inside either. But they did give me this angle here, which is 142. Well, I know that these two here are a linear pair. So if this is 142, I know this angle here should be 38. So the question becomes, how did I get that 38? How would I, using the arcs, how would I get that? Well, remember that 69 plus x divided by 2 should give you the 38 degrees there. And that's what I set up here. 69 plus x divided by 2 is 38. The only difference is that they make you go a little extra in actually finding the angle there. So again, I multiply the denominator. This becomes 76, becomes a simple algebraic equation. Subtract 69 from both sides, and x is equal to 7. Looking at the next to last question, number 11. Again, we have the same scenario again, where this is x, this is 42. They give me one arc. I know then that if I subtract these two arcs and divide by 2, I should get the angle. I multiply my denominator to get rid of it. So 2 times 17 is 34. X minus 42 is 34. Add 42 to both sides, and x is equal to 76. And for number 12, the last question, again, they tell me that this inscribed angle here is 138. I know that the arc that it creates is going to be twice as big. So this is going to be 276. And if this is 276, I subtract